friends, we're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What up? What up? It's Deja. How y'all doing?
Hello. If you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross section of pop culture in real life, and today we are here with this. The Real Housewives of Potomac has finally wrapped for the season, and we have thoughts. Where would you like to
Indeed.
begin?
Well, it's official. Candiace is going to be a new mommy soon.
Well, let's hold that. We're gonna come back to that. Let's talk about the reunion itself. So, Gordon,
Oh God, listen. I'm sorry. I totally agree that mental health can be an issue in relationships, but I feel
wait,
like
wait, hold on, background. Gordon announced in the wake of all of Mia's shenanigans and us finding out all about their open relationship and her having a beau and this guy who's been kind of in and out of her life. We
forever.
forever, it seems, from high school even. Gordon comes on and reveals that he has been diagnosed with bipolar and that it is the reason for everything else that has been going wrong. It is why he was removed from the company, or his management positions in the company. It is why he is erratic with her and all of the things. So, with that in mind, go ahead.
So, like I said, I believe that definitely mental health issues that have been diagnosed or undiagnosed, to be honest, can definitely affect the relationship and how the two people partner, right?
Yes.
I feel that in this instance, I don't believe that he was lying about it because looking back at how he's shown up since they have become part of the cast of RHOP, I could see I could see that, right?
Mm,
My issue is that this comes as like a beautiful blanket to cover up what they talked about on camera. Like they got together and was like, okay, so if like what I'm picturing, and this is just a Deja, right? So
okay.
conspiracy with Deja, okay?
Got it.
What I'm picturing is that Mia was like, you really embarrassed me. You want me to sit here and take care of you and this, that, and third, and da, 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 da. You better come up with something to fix this. And so he was like,
Okay.
well, okay, well, I'm bipolar. So we can just tell them that I was manic and this is what happened as to why things fell out, why we had the shocking revelation that happened toward the end of the show and why all these other things have been like it's been a domino effect. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And like it's like I
The
don't
timing
want
is
to
convenient.
see that, right? And I don't want to see someone's struggles with their mental health disabilities be the culprit and the cause of whatever other things they had going on. I just don't know that that's fair. And I think that's how it was, at least that's how I received it. Maybe
Got
I
it.
could be tripping.
No, I don't. I'm of two minds. I agree the timing is very convenient, but also I think, especially when you hear about people getting like late diagnoses or
Hmm.
diagnoses, just later on in life, it suddenly just makes a lot of things make sense.
Hmm.
So it seems like that could also be the case, but I am with you that the decision of whether or not to reveal was probably colored by all of the things that happened at the end of the season. I feel like if all of this blowing up and all of the things hadn't have happened, I'm not sure that they would have chosen to reveal.
That part. Excuse me, y'all, while I put on my librarian sweater.
So that's the thing that I think is kind of sketchy. But as far as him actually having mental health issues, I don't doubt that based on his behavior.
Right. I totally agree, but I feel like you said, it's convenient and it's a like they're making him his disability. And I don't know if it's fair for me to say that. So like y'all other fellow clinicians get down in the comments. I feel like when you like bipolar, schizophrenia, things of that nature, I think that is a disability because it impairs someone's ability to have a normal sense of life. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, um, I think it's just unfair to use his diagnosis as the scapegoat. I don't know.
Sure.
Even if it
I mean,
added
I don't
to.
disagree. I just think I mean, is it the scapegoat or is it the explanation? Like
Yeah.
it,
Same. I feel like I'm 50-50 on it at the same time. I don't know that maybe I would have received the news better. And not that I'm anybody, right? Or
right,
we are, but like
correct.
maybe as a viewer, I would have received the news better had it come prior to their like dismantling of their relationship before our eyes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think two things can be true at once, and I think that's both kind of where we're both landing.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about the husbands, Eddie came up here and revealed that Happy Eddie made
Come on.
$2
2
million
million.
dollars in 6 months since its release.
Go.
And my
I'm
thing
like, we need
is
to get
Eddie the
some.
most successful launch on this program?
Yeah. Outside of Candy Burst, I think so.
No, I'm not talking about all the franchises. I'm talking about Potomac specifically because I
Oh,
know
well,
there's
for
been
sure.
lots of different, you know, projects and all of the different things. So is he like the one that really hit the lick off of Housewives of Potomac? Maybe.
And he ain't even a full-time cast member. Go off, boo.
No, he's not. No, he's not. So we love that for Happy Eddie. Congratulations to him. Okay, so Gizelle
God
on
bless
this
her.
reunion,
Did you watch it on Peacock?
I told you I'm not doing that.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Um, I
I'm
felt kind of
crying.
like there were parts of me that felt bad for what she was going through because obviously like she was very raw and emotional. We never see her that emotional. I'm sure it has to do with, having lost her father recently. She's probably just still very just like wide open about it.
Mhm.
Um, but also like, girl, what are you talking about? Because the way she tried to blame literally everybody on the other couch for the
Everything.
issue with Debra, the fight between Debra and Kiana, I was just like, wow, this is a lot. Like you weren't even there.
Not at all. And my thing is, Kay was like, well, what did I do? I
Right.
was with Kay, like, girl, I was defending myself. Like, it went from, like I said, her trying to break it up, and then Homegirl got froggy. And so
Mm-hmm.
Kay had to get with her.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
And Wendy was saying sort of the same thing. Like, girl, all I was trying to do is stop this thing. So how did I get in it? How my name get in it? And then she had to walk it back because she was like, well, I mean, I guess I'll take back Wendy then. I'm just like, girl, you wasn't there. You should
You
take
weren't
all of
there
it
at
back.
all. Like, why? Yeah, why do you have such strong opinions about something that you weren't even there for?
Was not there
Like,
for
it's
it.
giving you don't like these bitches, and you just want to make it clear that you don't like these bitches. So everything bad that happens is their fault.
Correct. So some clarification. So I know I went hard on Candiace. I don't regret it. But she did say that her talking trash didn't start until after Debra approached them. So
See,
she
that's what I
came over
said.
there talking, 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 and then that's when Candiace started calling her all of the random things. So that was not nice. And I guess I won't give it all for Candiace right now. I will place the blame where it belongs, which is on Debra. Also, Mia said she came in hot and was talking to her about some mess
I was
too.
shocked about that too. But I think Mia said, you just got to know how you got to know what they're coming with. The girl was trying to get a scene. Basically, that's what Mia said. And she was just like, I wasn't giving her that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am so we now know Candiace is leaving the show, but I am surprised by the number of Candiace apologists on the World Wide Web. I
Say more about that.
so I've been, in the YouTube streets and like on the Twitter streets and all the things, and how everybody is like, oh, everybody's doing Candiace wrong and like she shouldn't da 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 and like everybody should be defending her. And we've talked about colorism on this show before and like really going to bat for her. And I don't quite understand that. I understand it in this particular situation, but like as a people, as Black people in general, I was always taught about like fighting words. Like you don't do too much. And the
Hmm.
fact that everybody has like just conveniently disregarded the concept of fighting words in the Black community to
Mhm.
go to bat for Candiace is shocking to me. I don't understand why more people aren't just like, no, she goes too far sometimes. And like even on the reunion, Ashley in her confessional was like, she don't always be wrong. She just goes too far. And I don't
Mhm.
understand why all of these Candiace apologists can't get their heads out of their asses and just admit that she goes too far. You cannot say everything to everyone. You cannot. You cannot. Like
Some people
I
gonna
don't
get with you.
understand why we get this concept in other areas, but not like somehow it doesn't translate to this. I don't get that.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't. That's funny. I haven't seen anybody really defending her
Yeah,
or
I
apologizing for her, behavior. I think a lot of people just felt like I watched Messy Mondays. That is the new thing that Carlos King does with Heavenly, Dr.
yeah.
Heavenly. And he was like damn near moved to tears because of like what was happening to Candiace in this last episode. And his thing was like what he wanted to see was that they just rally around each other as the unit that they are, whether you like one another or not. Like wrong is wrong and right is right.
Yeah, I agree.
And so his thing was like, okay, so yeah, she had a whole lot of mouth. She's had a whole lot to say. You all know this about this girl at this point. Like, you gotta either you gonna shit or get off the pot. Like, you can't. This is not
I
change. This has
mean,
been who she is this whole time. It doesn't make it right.
I agree, but I agree that there should be some rallying because I am a firm believer of that is the gig. I am a
Yeah.
firm believer that this is what reality TV is about. So, like, either get with the gig or get off the show. That's how I feel about that. So I do believe in reconciliation, even if it's just for the sake of the show, because that's what I think it is. But as far as like tolerating her mouth and not and just letting her talk crazy and say whatever, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. And it's like I'm gonna this is an extreme example. I'm gonna liken it back. We had a episode about the Bravo Reckoning, and we talked about Brandi Glanville and how toxic she has been season
Mm-hmm.
after season after season with all of these different people. And she's been toxic with everyone on her cast. Then they put her on an Ultimate Girls trip. She's toxic there. And then they finally get sued because of her
Of her behavior.
behavior and her
Mm-hmm.
behaving as she has behaved. And like you obviously we've seen Candiace on an Ultimate Girls trip and she wasn't that badly behaved. But I think like there has to be there has to be some accountability on her side too. That's all I'm saying. And she doesn't ever
Uh,
take accountability to say, you know what, that time maybe I did go too far. She
to
doesn't
your
ever
point,
do that.
yes. Yeah, I can give you
Never.
that.
She
But I
doesn't ever
think
feel like it's too low.
not with the words, no. She apologizes for like whatever her share was, but she never takes back anything that she said. And at the same token, I don't know that I'm mad at that because like say it with your chest if that's what you
Yeah, I
meant.
mean, yeah,
Ugh.
I'm not saying like she should apologize necessarily for having feelings or going up against somebody, but I think there is a time and a place to be like, you know what, that was too far. You know what, I did too much there. That was a lot. And yeah, I don't think that she ever accepts accountability for all the accountability that she wants everybody else to accept. So
Yeah.
that's just my
But I
opinion.
mean, on the other side of that coin is also Gizelle. She don't accept responsibility for none of the shit that she's done and does and continues to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. She could definitely again, that's the gig. And I think we're going to find out her and Wendy's resolve. We've talked about this before. We're going to find out how resolved they are in being enemies next season because it's like, girl, without your sidekick, neither one of y'all really got a storyline. Because Wendy, you don't have a storyline without Candiace. You were Candiace's sidekick for the most part. And Gizelle, like your whole storyline was that you were the queen bee of a group of girls, and you don't have
Mm-hmm.
no group of girls no more. So what are you gonna do?
Mm-mm.
What are you gonna do?
I am not shocked that they fired Robyn, but I am at the same time shocked because damn, it took us 8 seasons for y'all to realize this girl was dry as Wonder Bread.
Yeah. So, um, Wendy, Wendy kind of gets on my nerves. Well, she does get on my nerves. I liked her more this season, but like sometimes she just is so trying to put a bunch of stuff together, and it's like, girl, that didn't even go together. So her talking about Gizelle talking bad about her mom, but Gizelle didn't even know her mom was in the hospital, and then equating that to Giselle's dad basically like laying in a hospital bed dying, and her being like, well, I'm not going to give her sympathy because she didn't give my mom sympathy when she was in the hospital. It's like, girl, she didn't know she was in the hospital.
But
I thought it
wasn't
was
it?
a stretch.
I don't know. I don't know that I don't know. I don't fall on that side of things. I'm just
Okay.
kind of like, I feel like I'm indifferent about that. Like she was like, for me, it gave Wendy was like, you didn't give a damn about what's going on with my mother. I don't give a damn what's going on with your father.
I guess my thing is like words mean things. Shout out to the read. And if that was the hill you were dying on, like don't talk about my mom and I won't talk about your dad. If that's where she had left it, I would have been like,
Yeah.
who? But you're
Right.
talking about her disrespecting your mother while she's in the hospital, trying to make it seem like it's equivalent, and it's not. She didn't know. You know that her dad is in the hospital dying.
Did
Like
she know that he was dying or that he was in the hospital?
she knew
I
that he
thought
was
it
in
was
the
the same
hospital. I
equivalent.
don't
Like,
okay, let me not take it too far. She knew that he was in the hospital and he was very sick.
yeah. So,
So
I mean, I guess to that extent, that's why I'm indifferent about it. I feel like it's like, oranges to oranges. Like, my parent was in the hospital and all the shit was happening as far as we were concerned. Same thing is happening now for you. Like, I'm not
yeah,
going to
I
be
think it's a
moved one
little
way or the
different
other.
when somebody is actively ill, but that's just my,
But that's
thing. And I
also
just
information that she may not have been privy to
yeah, and she
on
that's
either side. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and
Like,
I think that's the point, but like to me it just felt like she was trying to make a false equivalence. And I was like, that's not if you had just said like let's leave parents out of it, parents and kids don't come into the conversation, I would have been fine with that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it to me, it seems like Wendy always goes like and says like one extra thing to like make it so major. And it's just like, girl, you didn't even have to do all that. Now you making two things not the same. I don't know. I just be wanting her to stop sometimes. Like you could just stop two or
But I
three
mean,
steps before. And like that's been an issue with her across the seasons where it's just like, girl, you could have stopped before that and you would have made your point and made it better.
my thing is, I'm with you when you're right.
Yeah.
And she's been a lot more right this season than she has been wrong.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I actually enjoyed her this season. Like I enjoyed her more than I have in previous seasons. She
Yeah.
just she just overdoes it for me. Um, Robyn got on my nerves because
Girl, grabbing
why
at
is
straws.
she talking about Chris Bassett doing anything
Anything.
when Juan has been all over the tabloids, all over the blogs for whatever he's doing to fro here, there, left, and right. Like, girl, not too much. And then Juan didn't even have the nerve to show up and sit behind you during all of this. So, like, not too
Never
much.
does.
Not too much. Not
Never
not too much.
does.
Not too much.
I just was like, the audacity. Like, did you decide that, okay, since we here at this reunion, I'm gonna bring it and try to check everybody about their situations?
Yeah,
Bro, you
I think
did
she
not
did.
do any of this all damn season long.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. All
Or
she did
any
is
of the
cry
previous
on the phone with
years.
Juan every place. And it's just like, girl.
I'm still so mad about that. Cause like Robyn girl, you was the down ass girl. We was cool with you
Mm-mm.
to an extent. Yes, we were. She was
Oh yeah, I
all
liked
right.
Robyn. I didn't find anything wrong with Robyn. I think
No,
she's a
but
good breather. Well, she was a good breather on this
no
show
backbone.
because especially when everybody else was like at a 10, I like to have somebody who's just kind of like, a 6, a 5,
We need
6,
that.
just to
You
turn
need
down the
that.
volume. But in seasons like this one, when like they're not interacting. Like she had a perfect opportunity this season, honestly, to save her job because would have been a good go between the Gizelle faction and then the Wendy and Candiace faction.
And she had been in last season.
So,
It's
but she
really
didn't even make
just a
herself
tragic.
useful in that regard. So, girl,
It's a tragic event because my thing is like if you it gave very much like, I'm done with this and I'm done with you, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make any resolves, like, job be damned. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't think that she thought that far ahead when she was
Mm-mm.
making those decisions, and probably is now shooting herself in the foot. But I
Yeah.
will say, I commend her for being upfront and honest about the fact that she essentially was fired because she was not asked back for the next season.
Yeah. We're gonna get there. Okay. Last two things that I have on the list anyways. Um, Apparently Bravo asked Candiace on the reunion to like kind of hold back a little bit. Did you hear this?
I heard mention of that, but I can't
Yeah.
remember where. Maybe I heard it from Messy Mondays with Carlos and Heavenly. I don't know, but I did
Okay.
hear mention of that. And I was like, well, what does that mean?
I
Like,
think it was for her to not be vile and disgusting and nasty as she typically is, and not just say anything vile and disgusting and nasty that comes to her mind, and to behave herself.
yeah.
I think that's what it meant.
But the thing is, like, it's a reunion. We are tuned in to see the drama and the chaos. So like,
I don't think, I mean, yes, but also with this reunion, I think the energy was different. And even Andy set the tone different to be like, this is about, like, y'all didn't reconcile at all. Y'all didn't do any reconciling at all this entire
yeah,
season. So we're here to reconcile. And with
and
somebody
still
talking
didn't.
crazy, and they still didn't. So with somebody out here talking crazy, it's like,
That's not gonna happen.
it's not going to happen.
I
It's
mean, and
certainly not
that's
going to happen.
fair, but like, I don't think no matter, like, even when Candace was like emotional about Gizelle having lost her father, and they're over there like, oh, she's trying to make it about herself. And it's like, Candace, we already know, cry at the drop of a dime. Doesn't mean that she's trying to make it about herself. She's just emotional
Yeah,
in general. And at one
agreed.
point, the group of you had relationships with one another. So yeah, she should feel some sort of way about you
Yeah,
having lost someone so great to you.
yeah.
Like, that
I
was
did
just
feel bad for Candiace in that moment. I was kind of like, that
they
was
just
like
keep on
low
attacking her.
for
Yeah.
Gizelle. Like in on Giselle's side, I was like, that is low. Like when that's happening to somebody and you're watching them suffer, it's like you could be going through any number of things inside, thinking about somebody you may have lost, thinking about your own mortality, your parents' mortality. We now know that can't. It seems like she was probably newly pregnant at that time too. So thinking about that,
Hmm.
um, again, that's a factoid that nobody knew at that time. But it just seemed like they were really calloused about her,
Just cold.
and just cold. And it was like, if I'm not mistaken, she met Giselle's dad as well, like when they did
Hmm.
the New Orleans trip, the cash trip. So it was like I feel about that scene exactly how I felt about how they were like kind of sneering at her at Gizelle when she was talking about her kids and stuff. It was
Come on now.
like come on, come like
Yeah.
some shit you just have to be human for.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that Gizelle did a good job of just kind of letting her be human in that moment.
I agree.
And then the last thing on my list is Andy's coronation, which I thought was hilarious, him becoming the Duke of Potomac.
That was cute. I will
It's so
say, I
cute.
did enjoy seeing Karen and Giselle kind of like they were season one.
Yes.
This season that was nice. Outside of what, like, the few little, tete-a-tetes that they had, like
Yeah.
seeing them sitting on the couch, like you made mention of this the last time we talked about it, but like, Giselle being in the position that Karen has already gone through, having lost her parents, having become an empty nester, like, and just to see them kind of supporting one another through grief and loss of loved ones, but also like watching your children go off and become adults.
Yeah, just
So
life transitions. So they
yeah,
honestly, seeing Karen and Giselle back together for me is the highlight of the season.
yeah,
Everything else was kind of trash, to be honest, in my
fair,
opinion.
fair.
So, you got any other thoughts about this episode or these reunion episodes? Cool.
Girl, not too much. The only thing I'll say is I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with this cast come next season, because
Yes, agreed.
it's not looking good.
It's not. And we're gonna
Ashley
get
might be
there.
on the block next.
We're going to get there in our next episode. So, anyways, in the meantime, get down in the comments. Let us know what you thought about this season of Housewives of Potomac. Let us know what your just general thoughts and how you think this cast is going to shake out for seasons to come. And in the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you next time.
Hi, friends.
Bye.